Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the NXT review for the 7th of October 2020. Before I begin this, right before going to record this, they have posted the draft, nominations for lack of a better term, for the Raw and SmackDown draft. They posted over 60 names. For fun, I looked at it. I'm not going to do anything with it because speculation on who gets drafted where is irrelevant. It's not going to matter after a month anyway. But I looked at the roster and I said, if they handed me control of WWE tomorrow, how many of these talents would I think that I would care about enough to consider they would draw money and keep on my roster? 21 out of 60. That's what, not even 1/3 of them, for me, is an entertaining enough person to where I would keep them on the roster. Everything else would either be coming up from NXT, and a lot of it has to do with, did I consider them rehabable? That was the thing. Anyway, we open this show, first show from the Capitol Wrestling Center. Ember Moon has said, they had said that Ember Moon is going to open a show. This doesn't happen. A match is opening the show instead. So Tomaso Champa defeats Takashita via disqualification. This was a really good match. I've worked with Tomaso during his independent days. It's always good to see a friend make good. Tomaso, I think, is one of the more credible wrestlers they have in WWE, and I would like to see him go to the main roster for the sake of hopefully more money, but I think they would waste him on the main roster, so I'm nervous about that. Velveteen Dream runs in to cause the DQ. Kushida is wearing blue jeans, so they begin fighting, and good chain wrestling both guys. Kushida with a handspring into a drop kick, and Champa goes to the outside. Kushida gets him back in the ring and targets his wrist. Champa cuts off Kushida, and Champa grounds him, and then several strikes by Champa. Kushida makes a comeback. They go to commercial. Champa is back in control when they come back from commercial, and Kushida uses the buckle to get an advantage. Kushida fires up with good offense. Lots of crisp stuff here. Goes after the injured wrist. Kushida goes back to work on Champa and tries to apply a Fujiwara armbar. Champa fights to block the hold. Kushida gets a triangle of some sort, and then they do the deadlift powerbomb spot. Trade strikes. Champa hooked him with a fisherman buster. Champa goes for a finisher. Kushida counters several strikes, and there's a kick from Kushida that nails Champa. Kushida stomps on Champa and applies the hoverboard lock. Velveteen Dream, with a cast on his arm, runs in. He jumps off, looking for an axe handle on Kushida. Dream hits Champa instead. Referee calls for the DQ. Kushida does a flip dive over the top on Dream, and Dream runs away. And, number one, I would have liked to have seen a finish here. Number two, man, I hope this leads to Velveteen Dream and Champa, and this is the end of Velveteen Dream. I know it won't be. They seem committed. I'm not a fan of the commitment, as I've mentioned before, but good gosh, why do they keep pushing this guy? Anyway, Ember Moon comes out to address the audience. She thanks the crowd. She's surprised that the powers that be let her on the microphone. She says she hasn't been here in 14 months. Now she's back. She says a lot's changed in NXT. She's traveled across the country. to get here. She found Ember's Law, and no one will walk over her. She's going to do what she wants because she's Ember Moon. Mama wants some gold, she says. And Io Shirai enters stage left. Shirai gets in her face. Shirai couldn't speak. Rhea Ripley interrupts. Ripley speaks on stage. She gets attacked by Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. Moon jumps in to make the save, causing a brawl to erupt. William Regal comes out and books a tag match out of this. Not a fan. You have someone gone over a year. Give her the spotlight. Give her the ability to come back. For 14 months, I have waited. For 14 months, I have fought. For 14 months, I have cried. I have done everything possible to get back in front of you, the people. And the one thing I want is to be the NXT Women's Champion. Simple promo. Not this pro wrestling gaga immediately put her in a program that's not going to matter in 2 weeks to a month anyway. Not the stuff where you don't have the opportunity to re-debut her again next week. Make it count. Anyway, skit from earlier today. Drake Maverick informs Killian Dane that they're booked in a tag match for later. Maverick is happy they're a team. Dane is not. Undisputed Era is backstage. Adam Cole addressed the attack by Ridge Holland. And Cole says he has broken ribs. And he called Holland a dead man for attacking him. Then they do the goofiness of the Drake Maverick Killian Dane versus Everrise, Chase Parker, and Matt Martell. Maverick pins Parker after Dane hits a powerbomb. And wow. Anyway, Maverick starts the match, and Dane offers a lazy tag. Maverick's reaching for the tag when I answered my phone. So Dane comes back in the ring, and he's basically trying to dominate things with his opponent here, or his opponents, and it's interesting. I mean, I don't see anything in Killian Dane, to be completely honest. I don't. He's a big guy who might make money someday, but odds are against it. So anyway, Dane cleans house, hits a Vader bomb, blind tag for Dane. Dane's upset by the blind tag. Maverick manages to be powerbombed onto Parker. Maverick lands on top of Parker. Referee counts the win. Maverick tries to get Dane to celebrate with him. Dane carries him away. And I don't know. Tori Storm vignette airs. Basically, she's coming back to change the world. Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae are walking their dog. They look the same. Gargano said they need a plan. And there's a new TV on the porch. And it's sent by Indy Hartwell. Gargano basically says, who the heck is she? And she sent the gift, and he's excited about getting a free TV. Who wouldn't be? Free anything these days is good. Austin Theory defeats Leon Ruff. Ruff shows fire early, cut off by Theory. Theory, ends up almost on the receiving end of some lucha, and Ruff slaps the ropes. Theory grabs him and hits the TKO for pinfall. Theory cuts a post-match promo. He warns Adam Cole and others. He claims he's the future of NXT and says that there's nothing anyone can do about it. Impromptu match here. Dexter Loomis against Austin Theory. Loomis is not bad, but I don't like the character. Loomis submits Theory. They're back and forth on Austin Theory. I'm sorry. I think this kid has more potential than half of the Raw and SmackDown rosters. Maybe he's too young. I get that. But at the same time, I can name at least 10 people who I would either release or demote to NXT and give Theory more of a push. Anyway, so Loomis has the advantage early, and they go to commercial. Theory sends him into the steps. Theory's back in control. He works over Loomis, uses a standing moonsault. Loomis makes a comeback, gives Theory a spine buster. Loomis monkey flips him, and then gives him a slingshot suplex for near fall. Theory nails Loomis with a roll through dropkick, which is one of the prettier things I've seen. Loomis no sells, gets to his feet. Theory tries to run away, and Loomis drags him to the center of the ring and hits a Uranagi. Theory taps out after the vice by Loomis. And post-finish, Cameron Guy runs in, gives Loomis the cave in, and they'll have a match at some point. So basically, they do a kind of go back to the O'Reilly and Finn Balor match from the previous takeover a few days ago. Ridge Holland and Danny Burch. Holland pins Burch to win the match. Holland gets injured in the process. Burch gets very little offense. Fires on Holland. Holland gets cut off. Hits him with a Northern Grit. And Holland puts on his cap to leave. Burch isn't happy with this. He slaps Holland across the face. Holland's cap goes flying. Oni Larkin runs in. Larkin does a flip dive over the top rope onto a pile of bodies. Holland motion towards a lariat. And Larkin fights back. Leaps over, hits a plancha. Holland goes to catch him. His right leg buckles out from under him. He leaves on a stretcher. They go back to the Gargano-Leray deal. Johnny's watching the new TV. Gargano's impressed with how his wife does in the Battle Royal from a few weeks ago. Gargano and Leray say they like Indy Hartwell. Timothy Thatcher is conducting another class. He tortures a student. And life's going to drive you down until you quit. He then stretches the kid. Ridge Holland is being taken away on a stretcher. When we go back, suffering a leg injury. Shotzi Blackheart against Xia Li. Blackheart pins Lee in a short nothing match. Black counters a superplex. And it's a senton. And then, that's kind of where things go from there. Lee's given some sort of paperwork after a match. And Ripley and Ember Moon defeat Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. Moon pins Kai to win the match. Moon starts with Kai. Moon gains control. Gonzalez comes in and Moon goes nuts on her. Why would you put Ember Moon in there with Gonzalez when Gonzalez has money written all over her? Save that. Anyway, Moon cuts her off, backs into the heels corner. Kai slaps Moon and fires up like basically someone who's going to go completely nuts. Moon goes through the ropes with a tope on Kai. Ripley hits a Somerset Senton. And then Ripley rocks Kai with a kick. Ripley is unaware that Kai has tagged Gonzalez. Ripley gets kicked off the apron. And then we go to the final commercial break. Gonzalez is applying a gory special. As the show returns, hot tag. Moon runs wild on the heels. Moon jumps off the second rope to execute Codebreaker. Heels regain an advantage. Gonzalez gets a near fall, delivers a pump kick. Ripley tags in, goes nuts on Kai for a near fall. And Moon back hits Kai with a discus lariat for another near fall. Gonzalez breaks that up. DDT's Moon. Kai takes a ugly looking powerbomb. Gonzalez trips Moon. And Ripley makes a save. Anyway, Moon comes off the top rope with the ellipse on Kai to score the win, and that closes the show. Really weak show coming off TakeOver. I don't even understand how this was seen to be an appropriate show to put against AEW. I mean, maybe if they were fighting against their own brand, you could put this up against SmackDown or something, but wow. Anyway, we'll be back with more of the World Class Series tonight and other great stuff. Until next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment.